If you had to choose just one plan to protect your home from all those heavy energies that enter without permission, from envious glances, from bad intentions that sometimes we don't even know where they come from, which would it be? This question opens a fascinating journey into the world of protective plants, where ancestral knowledge transmitted by ancient cultures is now beginning to be validated by modern science. This comprehensive guide explores the 13 most powerful plants for creating a protective shield in your home, counting down from the least known to the number one plant that has the power to completely transform the energy of any space. What makes this exploration particularly special is plant number 6, known as the spiritual shield, which generates immediate peace as soon as it enters your home. Before diving into the specifics, it's essential to understand something fundamental about energy and protection. There are days when you arrive home and feel that something isn't right, that the energy is heavy, that there's tension for no apparent reason, that even while sleeping you don't truly rest. Sometimes you receive visitors, and after they leave, you feel they left something in the environment, something uncomfortable that you can't quite identify. There are moments when you feel that no matter how hard you try, things don't flow as if there were invisible forces working against you. It's crucial to know that you're not crazy, you're not imagining it. Energy is real, vibrations are real, and there are people who consciously or unconsciously project negativity toward us or toward our space. It's okay to feel tired of that. It's okay to want to protect yourself. It's okay to seek tools to shield your home and your family. You don't have to justify or explain to anyone why you need this protection. It's your right to create a safe sanctuary where you can truly rest. The critical truth about plant protection. Here comes something that almost nobody tells you, and that is absolutely critical. It's not enough to buy these plants and place them in any corner of your house, expecting them to work magic on their own. A neglected plant, with leaves full of dust, with dry soil, abandoned in a dark corner, not only won't protect you, but will attract exactly the opposite of what you're seeking. These plants are living beings. They are energetic entities that respond to your intention and your care. You need to water them consciously, clean their leaves with care, talk to them, thank them. You need to place them in strategic locations where they can do their work. And above all, you need to connect with them, understand that they are your allies, not decorative objects. When you give a protective plant the love and attention it deserves, it multiplies its power and creates an energetic field so strong that it literally rejects negativity before it enters your space. Plant number 13, San Pedro Cactus, the Andean guardian. Let's begin this journey from the least known to the most powerful. Plant number 13 in our countdown is the San Pedro Cactus. A cactus might seem aggressive, but this ancestral plant from the Andes has a special place in home protection. The indigenous peoples of Peru and Ecuador considered it a sacred guardian, a being that not only protected houses, but also connected the physical world with the spiritual realm. The San Pedro cactus has an imposing vertical presence that can grow up to 4 or 5 meters in height, with bluish-green columns full of spines pointing outward in all directions. It's literally a plant warrior designed to defend itself and defend its territory. Energetically, the San Pedro cactus absorbs negative electromagnetic radiation and acts as both a physical and energetic barrier. Its columnar form with multiple ribs creates a force field around itself, deflecting negative energies before they penetrate your home. In Andean tradition, it's said that this plant can sense people's intentions and become stronger when it detects threats. Stories tell of women who have a San Pedro by their door who report that visitors with bad intentions literally feel uncomfortable near the plant and shorten their visit. To care for it correctly, the San Pedro needs direct sunlight for at least 6 hours a day. It's a high-altitude desert cactus, so it can withstand intense sun without problems. Watering should be very spaced out, once every 2 or 3 weeks in summer, and almost nothing in winter. The most common error is overwatering it like a normal plant, causing it to rot from excess water. The secret that almost nobody knows is that you should only water it when the soil is completely dry. If you insert a wooden stick into the pot and it comes out clean without moisture, it's the perfect moment. According to Feng Shui, the San Pedro should be placed near the main entrance, preferably on the outside or just inside by the door. It's your first line of defense. A powerful ritual you can perform with your San Pedro involves passing your hands around the plant without touching it, about 10 centimeters away. On the first Friday of each month, visualizing that you're activating its protective field. Mentally or in a low voice, ask it to protect your home from all negativity, from all envy, from all evil that tries to enter. Do this with clear intention and respect. Some people place a white quartz or a black tourmaline at the base to amplify its power. When the San Pedro grows vigorously and produces new shoots, it means it's actively working and blocking energies. If it suddenly fills with mealybugs or becomes sick for no apparent reason, it may be a sign that it's absorbing a lot of negativity and needs an energetic cleansing. You can burn sage around it or spray it with water mixed with dissolved sea salt. Plant number 12, Tree of Abundance, the African Prosperity Guardian. Moving up to plant number 12, we enter the territory of one of the personal favorites, the Tree of Abundance, also known as Portulacaria afra. This succulent of African origin has a fascinating history. In tribal communities, it was planted around dwellings because it was believed that its round, fleshy leaves, which resemble small green coins, not only attracted prosperity, but also formed a protective circle that prevented the household's wealth from escaping. It's like having a guardian that watches over both what enters and what leaves. The Tree of Abundance is a plant with reddish stems and small, shiny leaves of an intense green that captures light in a special way. It can grow as a shrub or can be pruned into the shape of a small tree, and over the years the stem becomes thick and woody, giving it that appearance of an ancestral miniature tree. It's beautiful and at the same time transmits strength. Why does it protect? Because its energy is one of containment and multiplication. The leaves store water and nutrients, symbolizing capacity to guard and protect resources. Energetically, it creates a field that keeps good things inside and rejects what tries to drain your energy or resources. According to Feng Shui, plants with round leaves attract qi energy, which is calming and protective, unlike plants with pointed leaves that generate more aggressive yang energy. Care is simple but specific. It needs bright, indirect light or soft direct sun like early morning sun. If you put it in total shade, the leaves lose their shine and the plant weakens. Watering should be moderate, allowing the soil to dry between waterings. In summer, every 7 to 10 days. In winter, every 2 or 3 weeks. The secret that almost nobody tells you is that if the leaves start to wrinkle slightly, it's their way of telling you they're thirsty. Don't wait until they wrinkle completely. But that early signal is perfect for knowing when to water without overdoing it. Place your Tree of Abundance at the entrance of your home, ideally on the right side as you look outward, which is a sector for receiving energy. If you can't put it there, the eastern sector of your house also works excellently, because that's where the sun rises and where the energy of new beginnings is activated. Avoid dark hallways or bathrooms because there its energy stagnates. A powerful ritual involves cleaning the dust from its leaves with a damp cloth every Sunday morning. While cleaning, count 13 leaves out loud, and with each one, say something you want to protect in your life. For example, my health, my family, my work, my mental peace. It's a simple ritual, but one that programs a plant with your specific protection intentions. Plant number 11, Snake Plant, the Sword of St. George. Now, we enter the top 11 with a plant you've surely seen, but probably underestimate its power. The snake plant or Sansevieria. Before you make that face at the name, let me tell you that in many African and Asian cultures, they call it the Sword of St. George, the guardian of the home, or the snake plant due to its undulating form. It's one of the most resistant and protective plants that exists and has serious scientific backing. NASA conducted extensive studies demonstrating that Sansevieria is one of the few plants that produces oxygen during the night instead of consuming it, and that it absorbs air toxins like formaldehyde, benzene, and trichloroethylene. But beyond the scientific aspect, this plant has been used for centuries as a guardian of homes in Nigeria, where it's planted by doors because it's believed that its vertical pointed leaves act as swords that cut and expel negative energy before it enters. The snake plant has these long, erect leaves, hard as leather, that grow sword-shaped directly from the ground. They can be uniform green or have yellow bands on the edges. Some varieties grow up to 1 meter in height. Others remain more compact. The important thing is that energetically, it's a warrior plant. Its vertical and pointed form generates defensive qi, a type of energy that actively rejects negativity. To care for it correctly, And here comes the beautiful irony. It's one of the easiest plants to maintain. It survives with medium indirect light, although it grows better with bright light. Watering is minimal. Every 2 or 3 weeks is sufficient, and in winter it can go up to a month without water. The most serious error is overwatering, because its fleshy roots rot easily. The secret that changes everything is that you must water the soil directly, never the leaves, and make sure the pot has excellent drainage. According to Feng Shui, Sansevieria should be placed in strategic protection locations, by the main door, in the corners of rooms where stagnant energy accumulates, or in front of large windows. Some traditions recommend placing one in each corner of your house to create a complete protective field, but with one at the entrance you already have solid protection. However, avoid putting it in young children's bedrooms because its yang energy is very strong and can alter the sleep of little ones. A protection ritual involves passing your hands over the leaves from base to tips without touching them directly during each new moon, visualizing that you're activating those protective swords. You can say something like, "Protect this home from all energy that doesn't serve our greater good." The new moon is a time of new beginnings and cleaning the old. Plant number 10, Lucky Bamboo, the resilient protector. Now we arrive at plant number 10, and here we enter sacred territory with Lucky Bamboo, which actually isn't bamboo but a Dracaena sanderiana. This plant has a deep history in Chinese philosophy, where it has been used for more than 4,000 years as a symbol of good fortune and protection. But it's not just a symbol. It's the very structure of the plant that generates protection. In Feng Shui, it's said that bamboo has the flexibility to bend before storms without breaking, and that's exactly the energy it brings to your home. Resilient protection that absorbs negative blows without letting them affect you. The straight, segmented stems represent constant ascending growth, and the emerging green leaves symbolize continuous renewal. It's beautiful to see how it grows in water with those white roots developing and those bright green stems that you can arrange in different configurations. The number of stems has specific protection meanings. 3 stems attract happiness, wealth, and long life. 5 stems protect the 5 areas of your life: health, wealth, happiness, longevity, and harmony. 7 stems bring good health, but avoid 4 stems because the number 4 in Chinese sounds like the word death and is considered bad luck. Lucky Bamboo care is specific. It can grow in water or soil, but if you have it in water, you must change it every 1 or 2 weeks with filtered or rainwater. Never tap water directly because chlorine damages it. If you plant it in soil, use loose, well-drained soil. It needs bright indirect light, never direct sun that burns its leaves. The secret that changes everything is that Lucky Bamboo is extremely sensitive to water with fluoride and chlorine. So if your stems start turning yellow, change the type of water you use. For maximum protection, place your Lucky Bamboo in the eastern sector of your home, which is the area of family and health on the Feng Shui map, or in the southeastern sector, which is the wealth area. It also works very well on your desk or work area to protect you from envious energies from colleagues. A protective ritual involves adding 3 drops of water that you've charged under full moonlight to your bamboo's water every Wednesday, which is Mercury's day and the day of energetic communication. Always keep some full moon water in a glass jar for these rituals. While doing this, visualize that you're fortifying protective shield of your home. You can tie a red or golden ribbon around the bamboo container to amplify its protective energy. Plant number 9, Aloe Vera, the Egyptian immortality plant. Ascending to plant number 9, we have one with a very particular protection power, aloe vera. Yes, the same plant from which you extract gel for burns and skin problems. But let me tell you the side that almost nobody knows. In ancient times, in the Mediterranean and North Africa, aloe vera was hung over house doors as protection against the evil eye and envy. The Egyptians called it the plant of immortality and used it both to heal the body and protect the soul. Aloe vera has these thick, fleshy, grayish-green leaves with small teeth on the edges. They grow in rosettes from the center, and when the plant is happy, it can have 20 or 30 leaves. Energetically, aloe stores protection in those gel-filled leaves, just as it stores water and nutrients. It's said to absorb negative energies from the environment and transform them into neutrality, actively cleaning the space. The scientific reason it works is also fascinating. Aloe vera is one of the plants that NASA identified as a superior air purifier, eliminating formaldehyde and benzene. But beyond that, studies show that plants that produce oxygen abundantly, like aloe, generate negative ions that improve mood and reduce anxiety. When you're less anxious, your energetic field is stronger and external negative energies bounce off more easily. Caring for aloe is simple if you understand its nature. It's a desert succulent, so it needs direct or very bright sunlight for at least 6 hours a day. Watering should be spaced, only when the soil is completely dry, usually every 2 weeks in summer and every 3 or 4 in winter. The most common error is excess watering that rots the roots. The secret that almost nobody tells you is that aloe leaves are a perfect health indicator. If they're fat and firm, it's happy. If they're thin and soft, it needs more light or you've watered too much. For protection, according to Feng Shui and Mediterranean traditions, place your aloe vera in north-facing windows because from there it can intercept energies entering from less favorable directions. It also works excellently in the kitchen, where it protects the health and nutrition of the family. Some place in the bedroom because it purifies nighttime air, but make sure it gets enough light during the day. A protection ritual with aloe involves cutting a leaf to use the gel always on Thursdays, which is Jupiter's day, the plant of protection and expansion. Before cutting it, thank the plant for its sacrifice and ask that the space left by that leaf be filled with multiplied protection. Use the gel not only on your skin, but also to anoint the corners of doors and windows in your house. Form a small invisible cross in each corner with the gel, creating a protective seal. Do this every 3 months or when you feel you need to reinforce protection. Plant number 8, rue, the Mediterranean shield against evil eye. We arrive at plant number 8, and here I have to tell you about one of my favorites, rue. This plant has a legendary reputation in the Mediterranean and Latin America as a protector par excellence against the evil eye, envy, and witchcraft. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that my grandmother never had a house without rue. And believe me, that woman knew about energetic protection. Rue, Ruta graveolens, is a perennial plant with small leaves of a very particular bluish green, divided into segments that look like small fingers. When you touch it, it releases a strong, penetrating aroma that some people love and others find too intense. But that aroma is part of its power because it contains volatile compounds that literally clean the air, bacteria, and, according to ancestral beliefs, of negative energies. Also in Mediterranean tradition, it was said that rue could see bad intentions. There's a belief that if someone with envy or bad intentions touches your rue plant or even stares at it fixedly, the plant withers or dries up, sacrificing itself to protect you. I've seen this personally. A neighbor had a beautiful rue. A visitor came who clearly had envy of her new house, and 2 days later the rue was completely dry for no apparent reason. The neighbor thanked it, buried it with respect, and planted a new one. Rue care is relatively simple but specific. It needs direct sun for at least 6 hours daily and well-drained soil. It doesn't tolerate waterlogging. Watering should be moderate, every 4 or 5 days in summer, less in winter. Rue is Mediterranean, so it prefers dry conditions. The secret that almost nobody knows is that you must prune it regularly to keep it compact and bushy. If you let it grow without control, it becomes woody and loses leaves from the base. For protective placement, rue should be at your house entrance, specifically on the left side as you look outward, because that's the protection sector in many traditions. If you have a garden, plant it by the gate. If you live in an apartment, a pot by the door works perfectly. Some place in windows. But the entrance is its maximum power place because it intercepts energies before they enter. A powerful ritual with rue involves cutting 3 little leaves from your rue with protection intention every Tuesday, which is Mars Day, the planet of war and protection. You can carry them with you in a small red cloth bag, along with a pinch of sea salt. Or you can make a tea with those leaves. Let it cool completely, and with that water wash the frames of your doors and windows. Important: never ingest rue tea if you're pregnant or seeking pregnancy, because it has abortive properties. Only for external use in those cases. Plant number 7, rosemary, the ancient warrior's herb. We level up now with plant number 7, rosemary. And I know you're thinking about the aromatic kitchen herb. And yes, it's the same, but rosemary has a protective power that has been documented since ancient Greece and Rome, where it was burned in temples to purify and protect sacred spaces. Gladiators rubbed themselves with rosemary before entering the arena, not just for the aroma, but because they believed it made them mentally stronger and protected. Rosemary, Rosmarinus officinalis, is a perennial shrub with needle-like leaves like small dark green needles, very aromatic. When it grows freely, it can reach 1.5 meters in height. In spring, it fills with blue lilac, or white flowers that attract bees and butterflies. The aroma of rosemary is clean, fresh, stimulating, and contains compounds like cineol and camphor, which have been scientifically demonstrated to improve memory, concentration, and reduce stress. When your mind is clear and strong, your energetic field is shielded. Energetically, rosemary generates what's called protective fire. It's not aggressive, but it creates a yang energy field that keeps negative influences away. In the Middle Ages, rosemary sprigs were hung over doors and windows to prevent witches and evil spirits from entering. It was placed under pillows to prevent nightmares and burned as incense to clean spaces after illnesses or conflicts. Caring for rosemary is relatively easy if you replicate its natural Mediterranean conditions. It needs full sun, minimum 6 hours direct per day. Well-drained soil is critical. It doesn't tolerate waterlogged soil. Watering should be moderate, letting the soil dry between waterings. In summer, every 3 or 4 days. In winter, it can go a week or more without water. The secret that changes everything is pruning. You must prune rosemary after flowering, cutting the tips to encourage compact and dense growth. For protection, place your rosemary in the southern sector of your home, according to Feng Shui, because the south is associated with the fire element, and rosemary amplifies that energy. It also works perfectly in kitchen windows where it receives direct sun, protecting the heart of the home. Some plant it in the garden, forming a low hedge around the house, literally creating a protective green barrier. A ritual with rosemary for protection involves cutting a sprig of your rosemary every Sunday morning, which is the sun's day and the day of vital energy, and burning it as incense, letting the smoke travel through your house, starting from the entrance and moving clockwise. Visualize that the smoke is sealing every corner against negative energies. You can say, "May the sacred smoke protect every space of this home." Plant number 6, jade plant, the spiritual shield. Now we arrive at a special moment in our countdown. Plant number 6, the spiritual shield, the one that generates immediate peace. I'm talking about the jade plant, also known as chrysula, the money plant in some cultures, but its power goes far beyond material prosperity. Jade is protection in its pure state. This plant has a beautiful history in Chinese philosophy, where it's considered that jade, the stone, is protective of whoever wears it, repelling evil and attracting good fortune. The plant takes its name from its thick, fleshy, bright green leaves that on the edges can turn reddish, similar in shape to the jade stone. It's a succulent that grows like a miniature tree with a woody trunk and branches that develop over the years, easily reaching 1 meter in height if well cared for. Why is the jade tree the spiritual shield? For several profound energetic reasons. First, its slow growth and longevity represents stability and persistence, 2 essential qualities for sustained protection. It's not explosive protection. It's protection that is built and strengthened over time. Second, its leaves store water and energy, symbolizing capacity to maintain resources and protection even in difficult times. Third, in Feng Shui, plants with rounded and thick leaves generate yin energy containment and nourishment, creating a field that neutralizes aggressive yang energies that may come from outside. But there's something more, something I've personally experienced and that many people report. The jade tree has a presence. When you enter a room where there's a prosperous jade, you feel something changes in the environment. I don't know if it's its capacity to release oxygen and humidity constantly, or if it's something more subtle, but it generates a sensation of peace, that everything is fine, that you're in a safe space. I know a woman who has a 20-year-old jade in her living room, an impressive tree almost 1.2 meters tall, and she told me that in moments of great stress or after strong arguments in her house, She sits near the jade for a few minutes and feels the tension dissolve. It's not external magic. It's that the plant creates an energetic field so stable that your own nervous system synchronizes with that stability. Jade care is simple but needs consistency. Bright indirect light or soft direct sun, like early morning sun, is ideal. It can tolerate some shade, but grows slower and weakens. Watering should be spaced only when the soil is completely dry. In summer, every 7 to 10 days. In winter, it can go 3 weeks without water. It's a succulent. Its leaves store water. So the most common and fatal error is excess watering that rots the roots in a matter of days. The secret that almost nobody tells you is that jade speaks to you through its leaves. If they're fat and firm, all perfect. If they start to wrinkle, it's thirsty. If they're soft and yellowish, excess water. Another jade secret is that it needs specific soil for succulents or cacti with excellent drainage. If you plant it in common soil, even if you water little, the soil retains moisture too long, and the roots suffer. For maximum protection placement, the jade tree should be in the southeastern sector of your home, which is a wealth and abundance area on the Feng Shui map, or in the east, which is a family and health sector, but also works magnificently in your main living room or at the entrance, where its stabilizing energy can influence the entire home. A powerful jade ritual involves sitting near your jade for 10 minutes once a month during the full moon. You can meditate. You can simply be present. But the key is to gently touch the plant's trunk with your right hand while breathing deeply. Visualize that your energy and the plant's energy synchronize, that a common field of protection is created. Mentally or in a low voice, share with the plant your concerns about the security of your home, your fears about negative energies you perceived, and then thank it for its constant protection work. Plant number 5, African milk tree, the toxic guardian. We continue ascending and arrive at the top 5 with a plant of ancestral African power, the African snake or Euphorbia tyricale. Although you must be careful because it's also called the pencil plant. This succulent has a unique appearance. Bright green cylindrical stems, fleshy, without leaves or with tiny leaves that fall quickly, growing in the form of candelabra. It can reach several meters in height under ideal conditions. An entire plant contains a white milky latex that is toxic. Why is it in our top 5 protection plants? In Africa, it's traditionally planted around properties forming living protective fences because its toxicity keeps dangerous animals away, but also because it's believed that its energy keeps bad intentions and witchcraft away. The shape of its stems, pointing in all directions like green spears, create a very strong yang energetic barrier that actively rejects negativity. Care requires precautions due to its toxicity. It needs lots of sun, at least 6 hours daily. Minimal watering, only when the soil is completely dry. Every 2 weeks in summer, almost nothing in winter. It grows in any soil with good drainage. The critical secret is that you should never prune it with bare hands. Always use gloves because the latex severely irritates the skin and is extremely dangerous if it comes into contact with eyes or mouth. For protection, place it outdoors, ideally near entrances or on the perimeter of your property. If you have it indoors, it should be in places where there are no children or pets, because curiosity can be dangerous. High windows or restricted spaces work. Plant number 4, Bay Laurel, the crown of champions. We enter the top 4 with a sacred plant in many traditions, Bay Laurel or Laurus nobilis. This is the plant with which the ancient Greeks and Romans crowned their heroes, emperors, and poets. It wasn't just ornamental. It was recognition of power and divine protection. Laurel is consecrated to Apollo, god of the sun, truth, and prophecy, and it was believed that its leaves protected against lightning, diseases, and bad energies. Laurel is a tree with aromatic perennial leaves, dark green, hard, and shiny. It can grow as a shrub or small tree, reaching several meters if not pruned. The aroma of its leaves is unmistakable, fresh and slightly camphor-like. It contains compounds like cineol that have real antimicrobial properties. Energetically, laurel is protection of divine origin. It doesn't just reject the negative. It attracts positive energy, success, and recognition. In ancient Rome, it was planted next to houses to protect them from lightning and fire. The leaves were burned as incense in purification ceremonies. Care is moderate. It needs bright light. It can tolerate direct sun. Regular watering maintaining the soil, slightly moist but never waterlogged. Every 3 days in summer, less in winter. The secret is regular pruning, to keep it compact and manageable shaped. For protection, place laurel at your home entrance or in eastern sector windows. It also works excellently to have one in a pot that you can move as needed to reinforce protection in different areas. Some people plant them flanking both sides of the main door, creating a protected portal. A powerful ritual involves cutting 3 bay leaves of protection intention every Sunday, the sun's day, like the god Apollo. Burn them as incense on a heat-resistant plate, letting the smoke travel through your house. While doing this, visualize golden light filling each space. You can say, "By the power of sacred laurel, may this home be protected from all shadow and evil." Plant number 3, Mediterranean cypress, the eternal sentinel. Now we arrive at the top 3, and here we enter the territory of plants that have been considered sacred for millennia. The cypress, specifically the Mediterranean cypress, Cupressus sempervirens. This is one of those plants that when you see it, even without knowing anything about it, you feel respect. Those tall, slender, vertical trees, pointing the sky like dark green arrows, have a majestic presence. Cypress has been a symbol of protection and eternity since ancient Persia, Greece, and Rome. It was planted in cemeteries not for association with death, but because it was believed to protect souls in their transit and keep evil spirits away. The Etruscans and Romans planted them around their homes and temples as living guardians. In the Mediterranean, cypresses flank roads and property entrances like silent soldiers of protection. Energetically, cypress is vertical protection that connects earth and sky. Its columnar form channels ascending energy that purifies and elevates the vibration of space. It's active yang protection, but it also has an yin aspect to containment because its dense foliage creates an impenetrable physical and energetic barrier. Care is relatively simple if you have outdoor space. Cypress needs full sun and space to grow vertically. It can easily reach 10 to 15 meters in height. It tolerates poor soils and dry conditions once established. Regular watering during the first 2 years, then only in extreme droughts. It's not an indoor plant. It needs to be outside. For protection, plant cypress flanking your main entrance or in the corners of your property. A single cypress in the front garden also works as a central guardian. If you live in an apartment, this plant isn't practical, but you can have dried cypress sprigs at home as symbolic protection. Plant number 2, chrysanthemum, the imperial air purifier. We ascend to second place with a plant you probably didn't expect, but one that has immense protective power and solid scientific backing. The chrysanthemum. In Asian culture, especially in China and Japan, the chrysanthemum is the imperial flower, symbol of longevity, happiness, and protection against evil spirits. But beyond symbolism, NASA studies identified the chrysanthemum as one of the most effective plants for purifying air, removing toxins like benzene, formaldehyde, ammonia, and xylene. The chrysanthemum is a perennial plant with green lobe leaves and spectacular flowers in a variety of colors: white, yellow, orange, pink, red, purple. The flowers can be simple or double, small or enormous, pom-pom type. But for protection, white and yellow chrysanthemums are the most powerful according to Feng Shui. Energetically, chrysanthemum is protection through purification. It doesn't just create a barrier. It actively cleans the environment of physical toxic substances and negative vibrations. In Japan, the chrysanthemum festival is celebrated, where it's believed that the flower grants longevity and drives away bad luck. Care requires attention. It needs bright indirect light or soft direct sun. Constant watering maintaining the soil moist but not waterlogged. It blooms naturally in autumn when days shorten. After flowering, prune and enter a resting state. The secret is to pinch the growth tips in spring to encourage branching and more flowers. For protection, place chrysanthemums in vases with fresh flowers in your main living room during autumn, renewing the water every 2 days. Or grow the plant in a pot in your garden or balcony, bringing it inside when it blooms. The western sector of your house is ideal according to Feng Shui. Plant number 1, Holy Basil Tulsi, the supreme guardian. Finally, we arrive at plant number 1, the most powerful, the supreme guardian, the one that has the power to completely transform the energy of any space. I'm talking about holy basil or Tulsi, Ocimum sanctum or Ocimum tenuiflorum. This plant is not the common basil you use in Italian cooking, although they're family. Tulsi is considered in Hindu tradition as a manifestation of the goddess Lakshmi in plant form. It's so sacred that in India almost all traditional houses have a Tulsi plant in the center of the home or in the garden, cared for with religious devotion. It's called the queen of herbs, and it's no exaggeration. Tulsi has aromatic leaves with serrated edges, dark green with purple tones in some varieties, and stems that can also have that purple tint. It grows as a compact shrub up to 1 meter in height. The aroma is complex, a mixture of basil, clove, and pepper, absolutely distinctive. When it blooms, it produces spikes of white or lilac flowers that attract butterflies and bees. Why is Tulsi the #1 protector? For multiple converging reasons. Scientifically, Tulsi has compounds like eugenol, ursolic acid, and rosmarinic acid that have demonstrated adaptogenic, antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. It purifies the air, eliminating pathogens. Studies have shown that having Tulsi at home significantly reduces microbiological air contaminants, reduces mosquitoes, and other insects. It's living preventive medicine. Spiritually, in Hindu tradition it's said that where Tulsi grows, death and disease cannot easily enter, that negative spirits and dark energies are repelled by its sacred presence. We're not talking about superstition. We're talking about thousands of years of transmitted observation and practice. Energetically, Tulsi generates what we could call sattvic protection, which is protection from purity and spiritual elevation. It doesn't reject the negative with aggression. It dissolves it with high vibration. It's like having a living temple in your home. Its presence elevates the vibrational frequency of the entire space. And when the vibration is high, the dense and negative simply cannot sustain itself there. Tulsi care is specific, but not difficult if you understand its tropical nature. It needs bright light, ideally direct sun for at least 4 hours a day, but not the strongest midday sun in summer. It likes heat, but not extreme dry heat. Regular watering, maintaining the soil constantly moist, but never waterlogged. In summer, it may need daily water. In winter, reduce, but don't let it dry out completely. The critical secret of Tulsi is that it doesn't tolerate cold. If temperatures drop below 15 degrees Celsius, the plant suffers. If it freezes, it dies. So if you live in a cold climate, you must have it in a pot to be able to move it inside in winter or treat it as an annual and replant each spring. For maximum protection placement, Tulsi is traditionally placed in the center of the home if possible or as close as possible to the heart of the house. In India, it's planted in a special pot called Tulsi Vrindavan, which is placed in the central courtyard. If you can't put it in the center, the east-northeast sector of your home works excellently according to Vastu Shastra, the Indian Feng Shui. The Tulsi ritual is beautiful and transforms the relationship with the plant. Traditionally in India, families circumambulate the Tulsi each morning and each evening, walking around it clockwise while praying or simply being in gratitude. They light an oil lamp or candle for it each evening. They offer fresh water each morning. On Thursdays, the day associated with Jupiter and protection, a special puja is performed cleaning the area around it, offering fresh flowers, incense, and prayers of gratitude. You don't have to follow these Hindu rituals exactly if they don't resonate with your belief system, but the essence is valuable. Treat your Tulsi with sacred respect. Each morning when you water it, do it with consciousness and gratitude. Thank it for its protection. Clean it of dry leaves carefully. Talk with the plant. Share your concerns and fears. Ask for its guidance, and every so often offer something. It can be incense burned nearby. It can be a fresh flower you place at the base. It can simply be your complete time and attention. There's a powerful practice of taking one Tulsi leaf each morning, holding it in your right hand with respect, thanking its medicine, and eating it or making tea with it. It's said that this protects your body and your energy from within. The flavor is strong, spicy, and medicinal, but it's purifying. If you do this, do it with reverence, not as if you're eating a casual salad. The signals from Tulsi are deeply communicative. When the plant is happy and actively protecting, it grows vigorously. The leaves are large and aromatic. The color is intense. If it blooms abundantly and the flowers recede, forming new little plants around it, it's a sign of maximum blessing in your home. If Tulsi suddenly loses many leaves or looks wilted for no apparent care reason, it may be absorbing intense negativity. Give it extra support. Clean the area around it. Burn sage or Palo Santo nearby, but not directly on the plant. If the plant dies despite correct care, don't take it as a bad omen. In tradition, it's said that sometimes a Tulsi plant sacrifices itself, absorbing a large amount of negativity or even diverting a major illness or misfortune from a family. When this happens, you should bury the complete plant with respect, thank it for its service, and after a few days plant a new Tulsi in its place. Never throw a dead Tulsi in the common trash. It's disrespectful to its sacrifice. Propagating Tulsi is relatively easy. From seeds, it germinates in 1 to 2 weeks in warm conditions. From cuttings, you cut a branch about 10 centimeters, remove the lower leaves, put it in water, and in a week it has roots. Once it has good roots, plant in soil. Gifting Tulsi propagate from your mother plant is one of the most sacred and protective gifts you can give. You're literally extending a circle of divine protection. There's something else about Tulsi I need to share with you. Something I've observed in my own experience and that of many people who cultivate it. This plant creates peace. It doesn't just protect against external negative, it pacifies the internal. Families with constant conflicts report that after having Tulsi at home, arguments diminish. Anxious people feel more calm. Chaotic spaces find order. It's not that Tulsi doesn't work for you. It's that its presence invites you to your best version, to act from your center of peace. It's a silent teacher. Conclusion: the alliance between you and your plant guardians. Now we arrive at the end of this journey through the 13 most powerful protective plants that exist. But before saying goodbye, you need to understand something absolutely critical, something that can be the difference between all this working or not. Plants are not passive amulets. They're not magical objects that you buy, place in your house, and automatically protect you while you do nothing. Plants are living beings. They are energetic entities that respond to your intention, your care, your connection. A neglected, ignored, dirty plant not only won't protect you, but it can become a focus of stagnant energy that attracts the opposite of what you seek. Real protection comes from an alliance between you and these guardian plants. You care for them, honor them, respect them, and they amplify your protection intention, creating an energetic field that surrounds your home. But the initial intention, the decision to protect your space and your family, that decision is yours. The power has always been in you. Plants are powerful ally tools, but they don't substitute your own energetic work. So yes, plant your green guardians, place them strategically, care for them with love, connect with them, but also do your part. Keep your home clean physically and energetically. Establish clear boundaries with toxic people. Protect your thoughts and words. Cultivate your own inner peace. Because a truly protected home is not just one that has magical plants. It's one where the people who inhabit it are conscious of their power and responsibility in creating a sacred space. And when you do all this, when you combine your intention with the presence of these protective plants, you're going to experience something transformative. You're going to notice that your house's energy changes, that negative visits stop appearing or shorten their stay, that you sleep better, that there are fewer conflicts, that things flow more easily, and above all, you're going to feel that peace that comes from knowing that your home is a sanctuary, a safe refuge, a space where the negative simply has no power. My wish for you is that you find your guardian plants, that you care for them with love, that you learn from them, and that you create in your home that shield of protection that we all deserve. May the energy of your space always be luminous, peaceful, and prosperous. May nothing and no one be able to disturb your peace. And may you always remember that the greatest power resides in you, and these plants are your allies in manifesting that power.